Up everyone, in this video we are continuing on with our video series of modernizing the MyListing property demo. So as we've been doing, I will get you caught up on the work I've done since the last video, and then we'll talk about what's coming next. This light starter site is beginning to wrap up, so it should be done within the next couple of videos, and then this will be made available on the club website. So unlike before with the car site and my other starter sites I've done in the past, I'm saving it till the very end until I upload all of the resources, just because in the past I would upload the resources and I'd have to make a change and I'd have to re-upload it again. And I'm just going to wait until it's completely finished and then drop it all out there. Okay. So the first item up here is the newly launched enhanced feature listing package badge. I know that is a mouthful. That is a new add-on from the club. Let me show you that. So if we go to add listing, choose a listing type. Once we get to the pricing tables, you will see this right here. The MyListing demos do not have this for me to show you. But if there is a package that is featured, that is marked as featured with the way the MyListing does it by default, you're going to get a little icon that appears up here in the top left corner with a little, looks like a little lightning bolt icon. Okay, so we're going from that to this. We're now able to inject words and style it a little bit, not a little bit, a lot better in my opinion. Okay, and that is available with every single starter site that the club sells, and it's available as a single add-on that you can purchase from the club. Okay, listing taxonomies. So I went through, completely overhauled the taxonomies. So this is built, excuse me, This is built to be, choking a little bit here. This is built to be a real world site. Like you could use this on a real world. Like I went and I looked at platforms where they sell homes, rent property, sell all that kind of stuff. And this is legitimate taxonomies. So we've got the categories here. So this is like basically like the type of property. Then we've got the regions. I've got just a subset of the regions. I don't build those out completely because everybody's going to have their own regions they want to put in. Just a handful of tags, mostly that apply to rental properties. I created property features and amenities. So this is literally all of those features you could see in a home, whether it's rent or buy. Not even just a home, any piece of property. That's kind of where we're going here. It's a focus on a property and not just a house. Location type, is it beachfront, beach view, lakefront, lake view, so on and so forth. Property nearby activities, so anything around, right next to or around the property that someone can do for fun, then that is all in there. So those last three there were custom taxonomies to go along with the categories, regions, and tags. So completely brand new. They are nothing like what comes with the MyListing demo. They're way more robust and real life taxonomies. Okay, see if there's any other notes I had for that. Nope. Listing types. Again, I went through and I built completely different listing types. You'll see here, these are the old, and I'll just do this right here while we're live. I'm just going to delete the old ones. And they are gone. So these are completely overhauled. I'm talking like completely rebuilt from the ground up. Okay, whether it's the fields, the general settings, single page is going to be in the next video for the most. Some of it's already done, but we're going to wrap it up in the next video probably. But pretty much, I'd say like 85% of these are done. But the main focus was getting the general settings, the packages, basically everything but the single page here is finished. So the fields are all done. We'll see all this here in a second. Preview cards, quick view, and the search forms. Because when I show you the Explorer page, I wanted to show you like an actual, what the Explorer page is actually going to look like. So for that to happen, I had to build out the advanced form and touch on the Explorer tabs, which there's only going to be one, just because this is a light starter site. We're not going to get too advanced. But yeah, the moral of the story here is both of these listing types have been completely built from scratch. Okay. And then with that said, we can now look at the submit form. So we go to choose a package, and here we go. So this is going to look a lot like the car. It's going to look a lot like my starter sites that I build in general, but it's going to look a lot like the car site because we're taking a lot of the same code, the CSS, and we're just adjusting it here to fit the theme of this site, the branding of this site. Okay, let's actually go and look at the for rent listing type, just because it's got a little bit, it's got a couple more questions and a couple more fields that the for sale one doesn't have. Okay, there we go. So it has offers. So I want to be able to show you that. Okay, this is all completely custom. You will, if you go to the actual MyListing demo, for example, let's click, let's do apples for apples. Let's go for rent over here. You got to sign in and register. Let me think if I have I'll just put something bogus in here. Okay, you got to switch to, okay. Let's go to my account details. I'm going to switch over to a property owner. There we go. Okay, so finally we get in here. So let's go add listing for rent. Choose the package. There we go. So look at this, and then look at this. It's night and day. It's not even remotely close. You've got that animation when you're scrolling between sections, which I absolutely cannot stand. That has been eliminated. Look at the side menu over here that a user could easily not even notice that. But now we draw attention to it. And it just works really awesome. Looks a lot better. When you click into some of you don't even know where to click in a lot of these cases. This just looks like they don't know what to do here. So I make it so we know this is a field, and we know when we click in it, the focus state changes. We know we're actually in there, and so on and so forth. Look at this text description field compared to this one right here. Completely different. Okay. Instead of the same old radio buttons, checkboxes like they have here, we're actually making those round and more modern and styled. When we click, if someone wants to enter their coordinates manually, we do that. We actually make these look like fields. Whereas if we go over here, see if I can find the location. Here we go. Enter coordinates manually. You can't even tell where to type. So the user has to guess. Excuse me, I should have drank some water before this. Has to guess where to click into. Okay, so we make that extremely obvious. Okay, the other thing too is we style these drop-down icons on the left, the three, like the hamburger bar, so they don't get lost. See if we can show you that here. Just minor touches like that just make all the difference in the world. Right here, look how faint that is. Just really making that pop off the screen. What else? Again, we got the modernized radio buttons. Look at the media section. So if we go here, if we want to upload media, it's just look at that compared to that. We have over here, you have no guidelines. There's just no guidance whatsoever. Over here, if you need some guidance, you can click on this link. It'll open in a new tab, and it gives the user guidance on size limits, how to easily compress their images. Very little steps required. Obvious styling around the upload buttons, things of that nature. If you want to add a social network, for example, look at the difference between that. And let's see if we can find over here. May not even have that over here. No, it doesn't look like we do. So I can't really show you that. But trust me when I say that is styled uniquely. And then we have offers. So again, if they need help with the image guidelines and tips based on whatever offer they want to bring in, they can click on that link. It's going to take them to that same page. Give them a little bit of unique guidance here because the image sizes don't need to be the same as in the other fields. All right. So this is all uniquely styled. Good to go. The buttons down here are uniquely styled. The submit, save as draft buttons. Here we see, okay, these buttons can kind of get lost. I also believe that because I manage a lot of client websites and I hear over and over again, Brian, please remove the preview button for us because it's causing more confusion than it is helping. So going forward, I have been removing that from all sites. So if we look over here, we just keep it simple. Submit listing, save as draft. That's it. So there's no submit, preview, and save draft. Okay. And the buttons are uniquely styled and they stand out so the user knows what's going on, unlike here. Okay. Again, modernized side navigation over there, just completely modernized across the board. It's pretty obvious to see that, I think. Okay. Last step here is the explore page. So what we see here is a completely modern take on that. Let me bring up the explore page over here. So the before here and the after. Before and after. It's just night and day different. The main thing that people are going to notice, a couple things, is they love to see the rounded, we'll call them check boxes, the radio buttons, it turned into radio buttons. And also because these are on the two are on the same line. Whereas with the demos, you just get everything going down one line and it creates a longer search form. So that's the things people are going to notice like really the most. The other thing too is that's really going to stand out is the listing preview cards, night and day. So over here, you've got just, it's not terrible, but it's just night and day. Like look, when we click here to bookmark, we have that bookmark versus this where it's self-contained within and actually looks like a heart now. Let's look at the quick view. These are all completely set up and modernized. Let's look at what they do. Not terrible, but again, you don't have the styling on the promoted and features badges. You've got these icons here that I don't really care for. So we just clean all of that up. Nice and tidy. Looking at the compare feature. So click on the add comparison. And then we see like this nice little border that's in our accent color around those, like saying, hey, these are the listings that we are comparing. Whereas over here, it's hard to see what you're comparing. You've just got this faint gray outline here. Let's click into down here at the bottom. We see the compare bar. I don't like this cancel button. Over here, we have slightly better. There's not a whole lot you can do with it, to be honest, but a slightly better cancel button where it just looks like a link rather than a button. In this particular case, I think that looks okay. Okay, but the colors are matching better than just like this faint gray with black text. All right, let's compare the items. So that's the before. This isn't terrible. Here we put a black background here at the top and make it just pop off the screen more. Okay, so a little bit different. Next is, what can I show you? This section right here has just been completely modernized compared to what's here and just near the footer area of the listing previews. Okay, and then again, the featured and promoted any of the badges here are just are customized to stand out and match the branding better. What else can I show you? I think that is about it. But yeah, completely modernized across the board as we've been doing. A little bit of a different style here. We're just doing filters. So that's what you're seeing here. You're not seeing the tabs, whereas over here you have the tabs. In a real world website, you may or may not need these. These do make your sites look really pretty if you have enough of them for your site. And you'll see in the full starter sites that I build, I like to do those because there's just more content and I think it looks better. So if we go over here to explore, so there we go. I do think that looks really good. But these are light starter sites. They don't have a ton of the content in there. So I just think as a light starter site, this makes a lot of sense. Now, if I was to come in here and add a bunch more listings and have more that sort of thing, then I would probably do that. And it's super simple to do. You literally go into the listing type, search forms, explore tabs, and just add. We'll do categories at first, and then we will switch over to rent. Actually, let's refresh. So now we would start with categories first, and then you could put a nice image here for the background of each of these, and then you would switch over to filters, or vice versa. You could flip-flop these around. But you see, it's not that I'm taking stuff away. Sometimes I'll get asked that. How do I add, like, are we allowed to do this? I'm like, yeah, it's the MyListing theme at the end of the day. It's just a different configuration, different styling. It's totally up to what you want to do. That's just how I'm building the light starter sites, to just have the filters. Maybe someday I'll change my mind, but this is how it's going to be to start, because I think this looks really good and simple and clean to start with. Okay, I do believe that's it. And upcoming, let me go ahead and click here into a listing. So my next task is going to be finalizing. I haven't done anything with the front end of the listings here, other than, you've got the heading, that's all good. The verified custom, this is a custom verified listing badge, matching the color of the site. Tagline looks good. Our header options look good here. Our cover buttons, I should say. Clicking on, we'll go over this later, but most of this looks good, but I'm going to go in here and just style this all up and make it nice and clean. That'll be next. So I'm going to put that up to the top, as just making sure all of the content, because like I said, I completely overhauled both of these listing types. So now I need to go in here into the content and tabs. I need to make sure all of the data is being output, and then make sure it all looks nice and pretty. And then after that, I think I will move on and make sure that the MyListing dashboard is all pretty. So go over to the dashboard. We're going to make all of this look really, really modern and pretty. So that'll be, I believe, part of the next video. And I think that'll be enough. So those two things will be next. Oh, single listing contact forms will be included as well, because that's going to be part of the single listings on the front end. Okay, so single listings, design, getting that data in there so you can see it on the front end, single listing contact forms, and then I'll style up the MyListing dashboard. That'll probably be the next video. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video, and I will catch you in the next one.